Kerr9000's Game Room.
Hi, it's Kerr9000, the Chrome-faced man. Having clicked on this link, you'll know exactly what game we're going to talk about today, and that is Trauma Center Second Opinion. First, I'd like to start by saying how Trauma Center came into my life. Now, I had a DS, which I got in the craziest of ways. I brought a load of manga DVDs from the works at a very cheap price and traded them into CEX at a massive markup. Essentially grabbing myself my first DS and 3 or 4 games for the cost of about £40. And this is when the machine was current and pretty relevant. Probably a year old? More 6 months maybe. It wasn't that long before I came across something called an R4 cartridge, which is a flash cartridge for the Nintendo DS handheld system, which allows ROMs and homebrew to be booted on the Nintendo DS from a microSD card. So essentially piracy, yeah. But this is a weird case in that, for me, the R4 actually convinced me to buy a lot more games. You see, it was very much like a demo machine to me, because when I really loved the games, I had to go out and get them, and one of the games I really loved, which I would never have found if not for the R4, was Trauma Center, the original on the DS, and I absolutely loved it. Played the living heck out of it and simply had to own a real cart of it. And this also led me on to following the series in general, and in particular onto this game, Trauma Center Second Opinion. Now, Trauma Center Second Opinion is a simulation video game which is developed by Atlas for the Wii. As I've said, it's a remake of the DS game and it's the second entry in the Trauma Center series. It was released in North America and Japan in 2006 as a console launch title, but like other titles, it didn't come to the UK and Europe till 2007. It's set in a very near future where medical science can cure previously uncurable diseases, and the story follows a young surgeon, Derek Stiles. Now, what we have here is a game which is kind of part visual novel and part surgery sim. You go from piece to piece. First you'll have like a little bit of story where you'll see the characters interact and you'll get a feel for them. And they are, to me, really well written characters. Derek Stiles is this young guy who wants to be a good doctor, but he has doubts and, is struggling somewhat with the job, and you take on his role and perform operations. He'll have doctors that advise him, nurses who edge him on or tell him he's not doing well enough. And you want to see where the story goes, which is good for holding the game together and making you feel like you need to get further and further through it, but the operations themselves are, for me, the best part of the game. Probably because there's not, to me, a lot of games like this. Where do you get to reset broken bones, cut out ulcerated flesh, laser cancer tumours? It's neat. There's lots of different tools, and essentially the nunchuck cycles through the tools and the Wii remote becomes the tool. So you'll cycle to your scalpel to cut somebody open, and then you'll find yourself cycling to a drain to drain things, a laser to laser stuff, a pump to pump out toxins, a syringe to inject things either to keep somebody's heart going or to shrink a tumour, and then you'll select a needle to suture wounds back up. You'll select antibiotic gel to make sure things don't get infected. But what you've got here is something that makes you really feel like you're a surgeon. I'm sure there's no way you'd play Trauma Center and go off and perform a heart operation, don't get me wrong, but it breaks your grip on reality for a second. You can see the problem in front of you, you can see the tools, and you really feel the tension and the suspense, and the decisions feel important. But what really to me is the icing on the cake is that after the operation you get a score, and it's quite hard to score well. If you've essentially done the operation, saved the person's life, and not made a complete pig's ear of it, you'll only get a C, which is like, rookie average surgeon. To get your higher grades, you've absolutely got to do everything right, fast, and this really adds to the replayability. Now, to me, these games do have a bit of a ceiling learning curve, particularly the Wii one. I found it much easier on the DS to perform the operations with the stylus. The stylus to me just works simpler as a medical tool, because there's this tactile touching on the screen and knowing exactly where you're cutting, lasering. With the Wii remote and pointing, I don't think it feels quite as tactile. It doesn't break the game, but it does make me kind of see Trauma Center on the Wii as the slightly inferior version, even though this Second Opinion edition has more content than the original. I would still rather play the original DS game. However, I would heartily recommend both of them, and something really impressive about Trauma Center Second Opinion for the Wii is that it frequently sells for like £1.50 to £2 second hand. And it's a heck of a good game for that really low price point. That's something I've found myself wanting to talk a lot about when doing like Wii reviews and stuff. I want to talk about the games that just anybody can pick up for peanuts. If there's a game that's £100, £200 and you're going to struggle to find it, yeah, it might be cool to get, but there's just something about games which are excellent, which have semi-flown under the radar, which you can recommend that anybody go out and they'll be able to get it for nothing and join in the fun. I like to add something back to the community. I don't think retro gaming should be about just hoarding this massive pile of games and going, haha, I've got all these games you'll never have. No, it's about finding gems, finding worth in them, and directing people towards them. And what I really hope with this video is that people will see what Trauma Center looks like. I think it's a beautiful anime style game. They'll hear some of the music, it's got a great soundtrack. They'll see me play it, they'll hear me talk about it, and it might get somebody to go out and buy this game. I strongly recommend you do. I would call this one a 7 out of 10. I'd score the DS one higher, but a 7 out of 10 enjoyable game for, you know, £1-2. Just go get it, try it. If you enjoy this Wii one, try the DS one as well, and there's other entries in the franchise. And I hope there'll be more in the future. I would love this to come to the Switch, or as it's getting a bit long in the Switch's days, to a future console. Okay, it's Kerr9000, the Chrome-Faced Man, signing out, saying take care of yourself and each other, keep on playing those games, and laters, taters.
A Squaffy Bear production.
Hi, it's Kerr9000, the Chrome-Faced Man. I'd just like to say thank you for making it to the end of my video. I've got lots of stuff on my channel, my horror house doing horror reviews, games room doing games, sci-fi station. It's absolutely chock-a-block full. I can also be found on the Retro Gamer U forum, which is full of great people, great laugh. At the end of this video there's going to be some little icons to tick if you want to subscribe, a link to one video, a link to a playlist. I'd also like to recommend the wonderful, talented Just Jessica, who does cosy games like Dreamlight Valley and is my supportive partner. Thank you ever so much once again for watching my video, and particularly if you follow me, thank you for all your support, and have a great rest of your day.